Hi, what's up, party people? Um,
Okay.
Hi, Mr. Nick.
oh, let me switch my view here. I am not Nick. I'll be your host today, and your guest. And we've been working on my text, not once, but twice. For those of you who want
Whoa.
to around, I think. Hi, Gen. Uh-oh. Somebody has slow internet. Is it me or is it?
It's not you.
See, I know something. Okay, Nick, where's your homework, Grandpa?
Coming right up, coming right up. I was whiting out the answers. One sec. Screen.
Hi.
They are freezing on and off there.
I see that. Oh, that's a bummer. Uh,
Who's a Kramer's a bummer?
you're
I have my moments.
the internet at the house where you guys are seems to be cutting in and out.
It's not waking up yet.
It's waking up.
The internet is waking up.
I've heard that can be an issue.
Nick, can you hear us?
I can hear you cutting in and out. But
You go ahead and do your thing, and we'll try to improve our internet.
okay.
Okay.
Tell Stanley to call Elon. All right. Let's try. You guys ready? All right. Ties on. Okay. For the guys. Please describe the difference between yata and yata, as well as the difference between meta and meta. Meta. Besides my pronunciation, which may not have any difference according to the critiques I have received from Geshe Michael over the last 8 years. Not complaining. It's true.
Hang back.
Okay, good. Yeah. Hang back.
I'm ready in a pinch to attempt.
Great.
Thank you.
Does anybody else besides Ben want to take a shot at this? The difference between yata and yata. And so we got to a point in the text where I think I attempted to translate this on my own, and believe it or not, I was confused about what he was saying because I just assumed that it meant the same thing, and they don't. And it's pretty simple, so don't get tripped up.
One is view and the other one is extreme.
Yeah,
You would think.
that's right. Yeah, I mean it's true. And can you elaborate?
Oh, elaborate. One maybe maybe one is it connected to the difference between misunderstanding and ignorance?
No, but that was a great guess. I mean, it's that great of it. It was an okay guess.
Wow.
Ward, were you just about to take a shot? I think I heard your voice.
He doesn't take a shot if there's no money.
Well, I'm not in that position currently, but maybe later.
All right. All right,
See,
Nick, what do you
depending on
think?
how this class goes, please, Ben, let's see what you got.
As I understand it, ta are extremes. So yata means believing in stupid things you shouldn't, and meta means failing to believe in smart things you should. But yata versus meta seems to be believing that things exist, which is accurate. Things do exist, things do function, at least at this point in the text, as opposed to meta, which seems to be an extreme sort of nihilism in which you wouldn't believe in even karma. I've never seen it used that way, but it seemed that that's what was going on in the text.
Yeah, good, nice. Yeah, you're paying attention to the text. That's awesome. That's totally it. Yata seems to be a positive thing, the way that Arya Nagarjuna is using it, and it means that things exist, and in a way which they really do exist, especially karma and its consequences, as you pointed out. And I couldn't see much of a difference between metta and metta. So that part is kind of either a trick question or just a tricky distinction that I didn't also understand. So yata, as Hasso pointed out, is the extreme belief where you think things exist through some nature of their own. And something interesting was with yata, he went so far as to refer to it as yang takpe tawa, which means, what does that mean, Hasso?
Pure understanding or pure view, let's say.
Yeah. Correct view, we usually say,
Okay.
but you got it. And I think that he was using metta the same way that we generally think of metta, from what I could see. Just like this nihilistic view that nothing exists, or extreme position that nothing exists. Moving on. What is the result of having yetta? I'm trying really hard, Geshe Michael.
It's good. I'm happy. It's been a long time coming.
Morality, maybe the result. You will be a moral person.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. That's not the result he gives in the text, but I think that's true. And if you're a moral person, then what might happen?
Good. You're gonna enjoy your day.
Yeah, I think
They have cinnamon rolls. That's the peach tree.
all of these are correct answers. It's not exactly what he said, and it's not off from what he said either. Anyone
When
want
I
to take a
see
shot?
internet directly,
Great answer. Not what he said. Also possibly true. Utpala, what did he say? I know you know. She usually knows my text.
I'm looking.
Oh, okay. Tim?
A better future life. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good. Stanley said it. Good.
Okay.
Yeah. Higher rebirths was what he said.
Good. Okay.
And if you guys are in the room with Geshe Michael, I might or might not hear you. And I don't know if there's some way to position yourself if you're going to answer somehow
I'll
closer
ask him to talk louder.
or you can repeat it. What kind of view does Gyaltsab suggest we should call it if we thought that karma and its consequences did exist through some nature of their own?
Shindukupa.
Yeah. He gives something specific and
Lokta?
Oscar is my only last hope then. He takes notes as good as
I think Oscar's in studying overseas, I think.
Yeah, he is. Oh, I talked to Yinten a couple days ago too. He's
good.
really excited about all those guys over there.
Yeah, I talked to them for like 2 hours yesterday.
Oh, nice. Cool. All right.
Not nice. They're all fundraising with me.
You were saying it as I was unhighlighting it, Utpala, right? Takpeta.
Yep.
Okay. $0 for Utpala. I mean, because
As
you just
always, that's fine.
more. I'll give you an extra credit question. Gyaltsab J I don't necessarily remember the answer. Let's see. Gyaltsab J refers to something that is one thing that is two things. At the time of the cause, this is why it's extra credit, okay? At the time of the cause, it is called, I remember. It is called non-merit. And at the time of the result, it is called lower rebirths. What is it? It's like a riddle. When I say one thing, there's two things. I just mean he separates it into what it is at the time of the cause and what it is at the time of the result. That's all. So you can just say.
How about karma?
Yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, almost. You have to. It's related to that.
Dirty karma.
It's a particular belief.
Oh,
From
at the time of the cause, if we say that actions and their results don't exist, that's non-merit.
Good.
And at their result, it's a lower rebirth,
Yeah, that's it.
which is what we call wrong views.
Yeah, but specifically the view that actions and their results don't exist. Great.
Yes.
You nailed it. Nice work.
Nice.
Those questions involved Tibetan, so I didn't give you any nice looking Tibetan words because they were built in.
Yudusu.
So I didn't catch that, but okay. Yes. So good job, everybody. Thank you for your great answers. Whoops. I'll stop sharing that. Again, at the
Okay.
end of the last class, you asked me to translate a verse.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna find it real quick.
All right.
Okay, I got it. Oh, hold on.
Oh, okay. Person,
Stick with
kabla,
Robert.
tenzin no pama say. Tenzin no, we did none of that. Mo ha making the gun on tenzin no pama say. I taking the gun on young mete. Yeah, so the first sentence says, Pumbal hab making nikamna, when we achieve nirvana with no remaining heaps, right?
Yep.
Not only do we stop our tendency to grasp things as being real, you see what I mean?
Yep.
The lok means stop, right? Not only do we stop our tendency to hold things as being real,
Uh-huh.
but even Kumbo Lakche, even when we still have the heaps, at that point, we also have already stopped Denzin.
Yep.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got it, but I thought it was an also, not even. But yeah.
Okay. It is also.
Oh,
Yeah. Mm, we eliminate, yeah, at the point where we no longer have any heaps, we eliminate the tendency to hold things as being real. But also when we still have those heaps, we have also eliminated that same tendency.
oh, okay. So I think I had it right. There we go. Okay.
Because Neluki Dun Shepe, and that's because he's giving a reason, right? And that's because when you understand the way that things really are, right? Neluki Dun Shepe, you have put to rest. Shiwa here is a verb.
Pacifies the view of this right here.
Yeah, you could say that. You have put to rest your tendency to see things as existing and also your tendency to see things as not existing. Right? Okay. Game le deeper than cinema and de by yi de yi and song dan dendon le kansan deni taber dombe galway shido. And I think you gotta catch the galway shido.
Oh yeah. So isn't that this?
It refers to the whole sentence in front of it. So in fact, it could refer to the whole paragraph almost, but the victorious ones have mentioned, by the way, it's Gyawa Jinna, not Bhagavan. Okay. The victors. Okay. The victors have said, Gemi ge le digbadan sinam le depa. When you have gone beyond, yeah, virtuous and non-virtuous action, then that person has reached highest tarpa, deni tarpa tamba. The victors have explained that as being the highest form of freedom, right? So the damba here means highest form of freedom. Yeah. The victors have explained that as being the highest form of freedom. Okay.
Uh,
Freedom from the lower birth and the higher birth, right? Okay.
oh,
Okay. And it's a very long sentence. It's
yeah.
not fair. It's Gyaltsen, typical Gyaltsen. He must have been in the morning that he wrote that one. Okay.
Yeah. Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
I understand what I missed about the second part.
Yeah.
About the first part, so thank you. I see
Okay.
but the first part, maybe I misunderstood while you were explaining it, or maybe I misunderstood. If at the point of achieving liberation where there are no more a person, we did not eliminate the tendency, is how I understood ma say, but the ma say is not saying that, right?
No, it's not saying that. Not
Okay.
only
Yeah,
not
not only. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
not only do we eliminate the tendency to hold things as real at the first stage, but we also eliminate it. We also don't have it at the second stage.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. Yeah, it's clear now. Okay, I got it.
And Nick,
Okay.
frustratingly, he's referring to yada here as something to be put to rest.
Yeah,
So
he
it sort of
is.
throws a
Yeah.
monkey wrench in things.
Yeah, he is. That's true. Ben's correct. The verb shiwa,
I
which
know.
here is a verb and not a noun, to put to rest rather than peace.
Mhm.
Okay. To put to rest both your meta and your yuta. Okay.
Yep.
To see that things which do exist don't exist is put to rest. And to see that things that don't exist do exist is put to rest.
Yeah, I got it. I mean, I know I think we noticed it last time too, and I can feel that it makes sense in this case because he's progressing in his
Yeah.
explanation. Like before he's talking about higher rebirths and stuff, and now he's getting more middle way about it, right? Like he's
Yeah.
talking about going beyond things existing at all.
Yeah, and by the way, the Shiva is pretty heavily a pun because he's referring to Tarpa.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So put to rest is it means to blow out a fire, to blow out a candle, which is
Yeah.
the real meaning of nirvana. Nirvana van came into English as fan, which means to blow. Wind comes from that. So blow out nirvana. So he's making a pun here because Shiva means to be blown out also.
Totally. Then in your vast experience, and do you think that there's like puts to rest or pacifies or extinguishes in English would catch that?
I like extinguish. I like extinguish because it means to put out a fire. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. I would try to catch that pun. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you. Here's, I mean, I just kept translating a little bit. So if you want to,
Okay, that's fine. 사책이 니까 나yan denden tara sepe toki yan si chimanin sam jawe ke was sepe deni taven deni tarpa dollars mo. 사책이 니까 nayan. This young means also, even just at the point of achieving liberation with something left over. Denzen tada sepe toki. By the power of having eliminated any short of holding on to seeing things as if they are real. Okay. We would Yang Si Chima Ning Sam Jorwike was Sipa. We would eliminate the possibility of crossing over into a rebirth into another life. Good. This is exactly how Sutta explains Sipa Dingi. That's a great translation. The whole sentence. Ta-da! Yeah.
Woohoo. Okay. I think I went on here, but I don't think I tried to tailor the English much. I just was translating
Yeah.
it for my own benefit. So
Wanna-
maybe
you want to work on it or no?
it's
Okay.
well, we could, but
Let's clear it while you're ahead.
I just know that I wasn't being careful to show that stuff to the
Okay.
world.
All right. But it was the translation was good. The second one was quite good. All right, let's go to work. I'll share my screen, I guess.
Oh, Ken,
Yeah.
shall I announce to the world that we're gonna record my next class?
Yeah. You want to explain that?
Sure. Hi, everybody. After we finish this class, we will do our normal 15-minute discussion of practical applications of the material. And then we will have our usual 15 minutes Peachtree World News broadcast. And then after that, we're going to spend another hour on this text. If you guys would like to stick around, it's gonna be a pre-recording to be aired later in your language. It may or may not be translated during this time because we just decided to film it now, and we usually translate at the regular class time. So, but if you would like to stick around and see us work on it today, you're more than welcome to stay. No pressure, and it will be re-aired, I believe in late February or early March. Still have to work that out.
Late March.
Late March. Yeah.
Re-aired in late March. Okay.
Yeah, we have to film an extra class today because we'll be traveling. We'll be in Kyoto in late March, and this is the only free hour that I have. So we got to do that. Okay. Okay. Mr. Nick, would you like to read this next sentence, please?
Sure. Sumpa chukuntak cheki ta tang jalwar tempala shi kepar shepatang tela chepar tewe nyepa mepatang tandrel sangye ki tunmong ma yin pe kye chisu tempa tang ngaporang shin ki chupakak pao.
Nice pronunciation. So we have reached, typically in a Tibetan text, they will say we reached part number 3, but they won't remind you what is part number 3. So Grandpa always goes and gets you the original list, and I always put it in 16-point type.
Oh,
so we have reached point 3 from a list that came before. He doesn't repeat what it is, but let's read that, those big letters, Nick.
Chukun takche ki ta tang chalwar tempao, a demonstration that all things are free from those extremes of existing forever or being cut off, meaning not existing.
Nice. All things in the universe are free of 2 separate extremes. First, that they could never change and just go on forever without changing. Or secondly, that they could suddenly just blink out, suddenly just stop. Those are called the 2 extremes. By the way, they are not viewpoints. That's Ta is a viewpoint, right? Ta is an extreme. So Ta means if you hold wrong ideas, then necessarily either everything in the universe never changes or everything in the universe has blinked out already. So this Ta here, which means extreme, anta in Sanskrit, the end, right? It's to indicate a what do you call that? An implication of an idea. If you believe that, then you must say that. Okay. If you believe that things exist from their own side, then either you're saying that they have stopped completely, or that they would go on forever without changing. Those are the implications of viewing things as coming from their own side. Okay. So we're going to demonstrate why things are free of those two extremes, which are an implication of seeing things as coming from their own side. Okay, two implications. Okay, so that's our third part. And by the way, Gyaltsab J is being merciful, and he repeats what part 3 is. Okay, he says, yeah, part 3 is a demonstration that the world is free. All things in the universe are free of these two wrong implications, that they could never change or that they could never have happened at all. Okay.
A greater display of mercy from Gyaltsab J.
And that's going to have she, Nick.
That's going to have 4 parts of its own.
Yeah. First one's really easy. Gepa Shepa.
An extensive explanation.
Yeah. By the way, if we leave it as Gepa Sepa, what's it mean? It's spelled in the card.
Link of the wheel, the desire.
No, it means to kill. It means to kill everybody.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't looking at the spelling.
Yeah.
I was thinking Gipa Sepa, right.
Yeah, sometimes you have to correct the root, the carving. Okay, sometimes the
Kill
carving.
the ocean.
Yeah, kill everybody.
Kill everything.
Okay. It's probably not that. Gepa Shepa means expanded explanation. And then we're going to point out that there is no logical Nyepa.
No logical problem.
That things what?
What's implied by when things ending, or
Yeah, there's no logical problem here that everything in the world must have blinked out. Chepa, just blinked out. Okay, not. By the way, that's related to the chupa in Dorji chupa. The cut, diamond cut, right? So chepa is a soft. It's the aspirated version of cha, and cha means more passive. You know, things have ended. Cha means I cut, and cha means things ended. Okay, so the idea that the whole universe must have come to a stop and we didn't notice it is wrong. You know, we don't have this problem. Okay, that's the second part. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, quick language question. So Telway Nye just means logical fallacy, and then like that little phrase just means logical problem.
Yeah, the logical problem that things should have Telwa Chepa come to a complete stop. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're used to seeing that Che with the apostrophe in front of it.
Yes.
Like 95% of the time it has an apostrophe in front of it. And that means to explain something. So
Right.
the apostrophe is important. If the apostrophe is missing, it means to cut something, okay, or to discontinue, that the whole universe must have discontinued, okay? Chepa, we're not going to get there for a while. Tadel Sangeki Tumo Mayembe Keche se Temba Dang. Going backwards, Nick, we're going to Temba.
We're going to demonstrate
that it's a keche.
That it's a feature which is unique.
Good. Yeah, a unique feature of
the Buddha, that things are free of these extremes. Or of
nice. Yeah, it's a special idea of the Buddhas or of Buddhism, that the universe is free of these two weird extremes. What are they? A, everything just stopped suddenly, or B, nothing ever changed and went on forever the way it is. Okay, those are two implications of thinking that the pen is coming from its own side. Okay, these are two implications of thinking of things the wrong way. Okay, either they must have stopped forever, or they must have go on without changing ever. Okay, well, then the fourth part is which is
a denial that things exist through any nature of their own.
What's the tricky thing about ngopo here?
But it could be functioning things. It could be all stuff.
Good. Yeah, that's it. The Sanskrit bhava can refer specifically to working things, or it can refer to all existing things. Which one do you smell it refers to here?
All existing things.
Yeah, all existing things. Nothing exists through any nature of its own. Okay.
However, it would be tempting to think that it refers to working things because it sets itself up opposite to the idea of saying, look, we're not making a false implication that things somehow stop, but
Yeah,
we're
good.
also not saying
Yeah.
that things really work.
Yeah, and by the way, if you're typing out a translation, it's good to put a little, I put 3% signs. That to me, that means come back to this later when you get to that part and adjust it if you need to. So leave yourself a little marker in your translation. Okay. All right, here we go. The first of these 4 parts, which is our expanded explanation or mass killing, is got 4 parts to its own.
Yep.
Go ahead, Nick. You do this paragraph.
Tangpola shi ginje rang shin kichupata gakpatang chakpa tang gawa pangwatang nime ki dun tope chowatang sheje ki peshe bao. So
Yeah.
the first of these has 4 parts.
Good.
A denial that cause and effects, or causes and their results, exist through any nature of their own.
Nice. Okay.
Chakpatang Gawapangwa. So giving up fame and contradiction or something?
Yeah. Anybody have another suggestion for Drogba here?
Conventions.
Yeah, convention. Jikten na Drogba. It means how the world talks normally, how the world talks about it normally. And we say our explanation of reality about the pen, for example, does not contradict how farmers talk about things. In Nagarjuna, it's often farmers, you know, Rimrock people. Okay. Right, Lindsay? So yeah, this Drogba means convention of the world around us. So we are not contradicting what the normal world says. Okay. They can go ahead and talk the way they talk usually, and everything's fine. The pen can still exist from me. Okay.
And freedom.
Okay, next one.
Freedom comes from realizing the meaning that there's neither of these two.
Yeah, non-duality, but we'll see what non-duality.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see what it means. Okay. It doesn't mean what most people think it means. Okay. Yeah. And then Shejeki Peshe.
The metaphor of the knower or the witness or something, or
this is a standard expression used for a metaphor. And Sheje means help you to understand something. You see what I mean?
A metaphor to help you get it. I see.
Yeah. So then we're going to give you a common metaphor. I don't know. They'll talk about pizzas or something. And it's going to help you understand the point. Sheje means it's going to help you understand the point.
You just decided my dinner.
Yeah. When we close up, how are the pizzas in Portugal? The ones in Brazil sucked.
Oh, yeah. Much better than Brazil here, but not phenomenal.
Okay.
But much better than Brazil. But
you can always jump on a train and go to Milan and have one, you know. Okay.
I'll tell all you guys in the room one thing, though. And being from New York, I'm very snobby about pizza, but I believe the second best pizza in the world is in Arizona.
I'm not aware of this fact.
What?
Phoenix. There's a lot of good pizza places in Phoenix.
We don't go to the big city that often.
Famous pizza in the village ain't bad. But anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Being good for it.
Why don't you cover this last housekeeping line here?
Cool. Tangpalani Gyunje Yeme Kita Tang Jawa Tang Rangshin Kichupagakbao. So the first of these has 2. Ginje ye me kita that so the freedom from the extremes of cause and effect existing or not existing.
Yeah, the fact of dependence or the fact of ingo, cause and effect, is free of the two extremes of either existing from its own side or not existing at all. So
Mhm.
origination itself is free of these two extremes. And
I'm sorry.
and
A
it's again,
refutation
the
that they
second one
exist,
is still referring to Gyunde. Yeah.
a refutation that they exist, that those exist through any nature of their own.
Yeah, a refutation that cause and effect could exist through any nature of their own, right? Okay, now finally we get to the text, okay? Nick, you want to have someone read the Tibetan?
Sure. Let's see. Who's here? How about Juan? Go ahead.
Quick,
Oh
quick.
no, he's in the room with
He's
you.
here, he's here, he's handsome too. Come
Okay,
on.
go for it.
I mean, relatively. Can you get in there? I don't know.
Yes.
You want to push this back?
Yes.
Okay.
Push. Yes.
He's getting ready for his big show coming up after the class. Okay. He had a great New Year's show, by the way. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So please read this guy.
Okay. Gyutang chepe ketongwe me panile depa yin. Gyutang chepe ngak tongwe yupa ni dung. What's that? Duang?
Duang, but one beat. Yopa
Duang.
Niduang.
Okay. Yopa ni duang kemile.
Nice. Okay. I prefer Nick to skip the root text translation because it's going to come in the commentary. So let's make Hassel read one more line. How's that?
Okay.
You use the cursor.
Okay. Kowo
Chak.
chak.
Yeah.
Okay. Kowo chak umapa. Kowo chak umapa korwa gyu tre mepani du tawale lende tawa lende pa yinte.
Nice.
Dugniel kewa dak sin ki gyu tang chepa se
Good.
me tongwe so.
By the way, Nick, you guys owe me for correcting all these carvings, okay?
Okay.
Because these were hard. These corrections were difficult. Koachak means,
Us guys,
yeah, and he refers to himself as a,
middleware.
yeah, us middleware guys. Korwa Ginde Mepanidu. We have Depa from the viewpoint that Korwa doesn't have Ginde.
We've gone beyond the viewpoint that samsara, or the wheel of pain, doesn't have causes and effects.
Yeah, us middleway guys have gone beyond the wrong idea that the cycle of pain that we live in doesn't have a cause and effect relationships going on underneath. Okay, so in a sense, we have gone beyond meta or meta, some kind of extreme viewpoint regarding things not being there. Okay, we haven't gone that far. We don't say that cause and effect of suffering is not there. We believe it is there. Okay, because we have tongue with our tsema.
We have seen accurately.
Yeah, we've seen with our correct perception. Otherwise, it would be we have seen with our cut off something. Okay. We have seen with our correct perception that dunya kiawa dangzing higyodan chepa.
That the
From
the beginning of suffering, of being born into a suffering life,
No.
perhaps or the beginning of suffering comes from the cause of, or has as its cause, grasping to a self.
Yeah, we understand that dunya kyawa, the birth of pain, is something that has as its cause the tendency of thinking that the pain comes from its own side. Therefore, we recognize cause and effect. We have seen that misunderstanding where pains come from is why people are born into pain. Okay, cool. Therefore, we do accept cause and effect. Yeah. All right. Let's like Hasa do one more, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got the cursor.
All right.
Paul has a coffee.
Ranchiki yopa ni duan ke milente. Dunyel kokpa lam den ki gyu tang chepat seme tongweso.
Good. And Nick, when you're confused by a text and you suspect some spelling problems might be going on, you can check the next line and see if they say tema, and they do. And that gives you a clue of how to correct the line before it. Okay. Rangshinki yupanino. So we don't accept mepa. We don't accept that cause and effect doesn't exist, but we also don't accept that things do exist. We don't accept that things don't exist, and we don't accept that things do exist. We don't accept that cause and effect doesn't exist, and we don't accept that Rangshinki Yupa does exist.
Yeah. We don't accept that things do exist through some nature of their own.
Good. We don't accept, for example, that a pen could exist from its own side. Yeah. Okay? So we don't accept not existing, and we don't accept existing, but different kinds of not existing. We don't accept that cause and effect doesn't exist, but we also don't accept that cause and effect works from its own side. Okay, Kemilente. Because we have Toma with our Tsema, Nick.
Because we have seen with our correct perception.
Yeah, that we have seen
suffering comes about through the cause of the truth of the path.
Good. Now, when you see something like that in the second line, the truth of suffering, the truth of the end of suffering, and the truth of the path to the end of suffering, it's tempting to go back to the first paragraph and see if the first two Arya truths were there. Because this is obviously the second two Arya truths, okay? Truth of cessation and the truth of the path to that cessation. Arya truth number 3, Arya truth number 4. He's relating Arya truth number 3 and Arya truth number 4 to things not existing by themselves. Okay. Now, did he make a veiled reference to the first two Arya truths in his first paragraph? What do you think, Nick?
Well, he didn't mention any word that directly mentions the source. He did mention Dungyao, but he didn't say Kunjung. He said Gyu.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, that is the Kunjung. Yeah. So he said there is pain and there's a cause for that pain, which is your tendency to believe that the pain comes from its own side. Okay, cool. So somewhere in here, it might be nice to, in a footnote, for example, to point out that he's flirting with the 4 Arya truths. And it's very on purpose. When Nagarjuna does it, it's on purpose. And probably he wants you to notice. Okay. All right. Here's
Here Sema will indicate maybe a direct or indirect.
We don't know.
Logical.
It just means correct perception. Okay. Yeah. Probably not direct.
Like deduction?
Yeah. We figured it out. Yeah. Unless the person talking, unless the Umapa mentioned is an Arya, which is not a Kyaba. Just because you're a middle wayer doesn't mean you're an Arya yet. Okay. Nick, who are you going to pick on next? Thank you.
Captain Word. I would love to put your students to work. Whose pronunciation's getting good?
Okay.
They're all good.
That's true.
Then who does
It's
Word want to
irritating.
who does Word want to put to the grindstone?
Who do I want to embarrass?
Yeah.
Jessica.
Jessica.
Please read.
Today.
Yes. Can you draw now? Sorry. Ni pa ni. Ni
Good,
pa.
Nipani. And then let's go down to here. Okay. Ngar.
Ngá kế pa tháng lén chích kể.
Nice.
Gil min tun du. Gil meto.
Woohoo.
Thác đảng giang thác nhí thu nà.
Nice.
Kế quảng rắc thủ ma rắc chia.
Wow. Amazing. Word's just showing off his best students, probably. I'm sure they can't all read like that.
No, I'm just 3 months studying.
Nah,
Yes.
wow, I don't know what he's
You
doing,
should.
but it's working out. Probably he's paying you guys. All right, let's Word, can we have Jessica read the next line?
Yes, I will.
Please.
Thun thủ dễ rang xin ghi rút pay gil metal.
Yeah, okay, let's translate Word. Give me.
Well, you want no
Go
cause.
ahead, Nick. Go ahead.
Yeah, there exists no cause which rang shinki drupa.
That exists through any nature of its own.
Yeah, which exists through any nature of its own, which is how I'm glossing. Te means a positive, right? Which is how I'm glossing dundu.
For the purpose of usually or something like that.
Here it just means in fact.
Okay. Interesting.
So there's no cause which exists in fact, but what we mean in fact is exists through some nature of its own. Yeah, so he's glossing the root text dundu as Rangshingi Drupa, okay? There's no cause which exists in fact, meaning there's no cause which exists from its own side.
Cool.
Okay, all right. This next one's hard, Nick. Who's gonna read that?
Oh, Word, you got another one?
Sure. Let me look.
Hey, Word, you're doing a good job, Word, with your kids and with your other kids.
Thanks. Svetlana.
Svetlana.
Drebuwe.
Good, nice, perfect. That was very difficult. Drebuwe.
Ngar kepa dank, hlan chik kepa dank, chi kepa gang yang dundampar, giumain pechir.
Good, very, very nice. Nick, there's no such thing as a gu.
There is no cause.
And this is a very difficult instrumental here. This way is not instrumental. It's the instrumental of comparison.
Yeah.
There's no cause which exists ngar, then it's dribu.
Sure. Yeah. There is no cause that exists before its result.
Yeah, there's no cause which exists before its result. There's no cause which exists hlenchik with its result.
Together with its result.
At the same moment. And there's no cause which exists chi its result.
After.
Yeah. Now, does that make sense? If I say causes don't exist before their result, causes don't exist at the same time as their result, and causes don't exist after their result. Is that correct?
Yeah.
If you have studied Garjuna, it makes sense.
But which one possibly would not make sense?
After.
First one, yeah. To say that causes don't exist before their result sounds crazy. Okay, but the middle way guy says causes don't exist after their result. That's obvious. Causes
Yeah.
don't exist at the same time as their result. That's obvious. But the causes also don't exist before the result. Oh, you better explain that a little further. Okay. Right? Okay. And then he adds an adverb, dun dumper.
Ultimately.
Yeah, in an ultimate sense. Then all bets are off. Everything changes. Do
Mhm.
causes exist before the results? Duh, of course they do.
Of course.
Do they exist really before their results? No. Okay. Okay, then ultimately not. Okay. That adverb saves the day. Thank you, adverb. Okay, misspelled, but that's okay. All right. Who's next, Nicholas?
Do you want to go Berta Velasco?
I'd
They're
love to.
calling out the heavy guns.
Sure.
Rangshingi Drukpei Drapu Kieu Huang Tak Tang Yang Dag Ni Duna Teta Yahweh Semadang Dom Dam Pesa Tse Ma Nikala Raptu My Drukpei Cheer.
Nice. Very, very nice. You're really good reading nowadays. I don't know what happened. There must be those drugs. Okay. We have a major problem with this sentence. Let's do the first part. It's easier. Rang Shiki Jupe Jebu. What's that mean?
A result that exists through some nature of its own.
Good. Like a pen that came out of a factory, but it exists from its own side. Okay. Rashiki Jupe Jebu. Kiwang, if it started, okay. Tak dang yanda niduna. Yanda niduna means in and of itself. Okay. Yanda niduna means in and of itself. And now there's a question because the Tibetan commentary says RTAGS, which means what, Nick?
Imputed or implied?
No, like dak yanda.
Correct. A reason.
Yeah, reason. It means reason. Okay. But the root text here doesn't say that, Doc. The root text up here says BTAGS, buttocks.
That one means implied, right?
Yeah. So somebody's wrong. Either the Tibetan commentator is wrong, or the Tengyur is wrong. Okay. So how can we resolve it, Nick? What's the
check alternate Tengyurs.
Sanskrit.
We can check the
Sanskrit. Go to the Sanskrit. Luckily, we have the Sanskrit.
Yeah.
So you can tell from the Sanskrit if it was supposed to say reason, which means retox, or if it was supposed to say imputed, which is buttocks. Okay.
Right.
So we go back to the Sanskrit, which Grandpa has put here for you.
Thank you.
And then we just have to figure out which one is the buttocks. And it happens to be prasnyapta. Prasnyapti.
So that would be buttocks, right?
Yeah, it would be imputed. Yeah, prasnyapta, as opposed to existing from its own side. Prasnyapta. Okay. So this is and by the way, the reason we have this Sanskrit is usually because Aisha Nguyen, Scophilus, has found it somewhere in the universe and talked them into sending it to us and then inputting it. And she has done really, really amazing work. And it's because of her that we have all these Sanskrit versions. And this particular Sanskrit version, I think, Stanley, comes from Beijing. A very great scholar in Beijing. So anyway, prasnyapta, now we got to go back and read it that way. Okay. So here we go. Buttocks. Let's go to the end of the sentence and then work backwards, okay, Nick? And this is
Yep.
a difficult sentence.
Okay.
So he's dividing sema into two different kinds. All correct perception, all accurate perception is one of two different kinds. One is Gepa and one is Dundampa.
Conventional accurate perception and ultimate accurate perception.
Yeah, good. So as far as a pen is regarding a pen, as far as a pen is concerned, what would be a correct conventional perception?
It writes.
Yeah, it writes, or it's a pen, or it's plastic, or it's long, or something like that. Okay, that's a correct conventional perception. And what would be a correct ultimate perception about the pen?
It doesn't come from any nature of its own.
Yeah, it's coming from me. In fact, even the writing coming out of it is coming from me. Okay. The pen is not creating the writing on the paper. I'm creating the writing and the pen. Okay, cool. Is there cause and effect there?
Yeah.
What?
You planted a
Is the
seed.
pen writing the writing?
Yeah.
No. I'm writing the writing and I'm creating the pen. It just looks like the pen is creating the writing. Okay. It's very beautiful. If you understand that, you can be successful in life. It's not the pen doing the writing. I created the pen and I created the writing, and unfortunately they happen one after the other. Okay, so yeah.
Would you say that the pen is creating the writing because you have the seeds for the pen to
You could say that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anyway, so Nick, here we got two different accurate perceptions. Number one, the pen is there, it's blue, whatever. Secondly, it's coming from me and not from its own side. Okay. What does it mean to say something is jakpa to a tsema, Nick?
Something is known, I guess, or
Good. Yeah. Or something displays itself to a perception. Okay.
Mhm.
The pen is showing itself to a perception. The blue color of the pen is showing itself to a conventional perception. The fact that the pen is not coming from its own side is showing itself to an Arya's perception or a middle way perception. Okay. But in either case, certain objects are announcing themselves to perceptions. Hey, I'm out here. This is me. I'm the pen. And then the perception says, oh, yeah, okay. Okay. So Jakpa here, which normally means Kirti.
Well,
By the way, I wonder what it was in the root text, Nick.
Aparati or something?
Yeah, yeah, probably I know utpates. But anyway, yeah. So two things are showing themselves to perception. What? The relative nature of the thing and the ultimate nature of the thing. Okay.
Are they not showing themselves?
They do show themselves, but not yandag nidu.
Oh, okay.
Not from their own side. Okay. Not from their own side. Okay. Therefore, the fact that those objects ever happened was buttocks or retox.
Buttocks.
Yeah, it's coming from me. It's a name, or it's a creation of my mind. It's a creation of my mind. Buttocks. It's a creation of my mind.
Would you say it's labeled here?
You can say labeled. You can say labeled. I mean, the point is, the pen is a creation of my mind, of the names coming out of my mind. Yeah, you can say buttock. Right?
Mike, what I'm getting at kind of is there a situation where you would actually use the word imputed?
You could. I wouldn't use it here, and I would try to keep things within the grasp of a human being.
Yeah.
I would struggle to use normal words. Okay. By the way, he's what do you call him? He's contrasting buttocks with yandag nidu. What's that mean, Nick? He's contrasting buttocks with yandag nidu.
Imputed or projected as opposed to, having an ultimate essence or just existing ultimately.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Truly.
So he's saying when the pen starts, for example, kewa, it's a batak. It's just a perception coming from my side, and that it doesn't exist Yandang Nidu, in and of itself. It does
Mhm.
not exist in and of itself. Very, very difficult sentence here. Okay, very difficult, especially with the misspelling of the word. Okay, almost impossible. That makes it almost impossible. Yeah. All right. Cool.
We have just a few seconds left.
1 minute for this class. Nip.
Nipani, second.
Nipani, say it faster.
Here's the
Nipa
second.
was Nipa was Drapadan Gawa Pawa. Let's just say that and we're finished with this class.
Yeah.
Second,
Giving up or getting rid of sorry, Chuck, sorry. Convention and contradiction.
yeah, look, we say the pen comes from me. We say the pen doesn't come from its own side, but still we don't contradict how the normal world talks. We accept the normal world. We still accept how farmers talk, but we say the pen also comes from my side. Okay, but what we say about the existence of the pen, we still do not contradict what normal people say. People say, hey, hand me the pen so I can put a big tip on this Peachtree Cafe bill. And then that's fine. We don't have a problem with that. They don't have to say, please hand me the pen, which I'm creating with my mind through my previous thoughts and blah, blah. You know, that's okay. The whole world can talk the way they talk. We know what they're really saying. Okay. Okay. Got it.
Cool.
All right. We're going to take what kind of break, Nick? How much time before we go into your second class? I don't
Well, we
mind to
have-
go straight if you want.
Typically what we do here, and it's really up to you.
All right. We have discussion.
We can do a 15-minute discussion on
Let's do that.
applications, and everybody is welcome to participate. Don't be shy. And then we do 15-minute Peachtree World News broadcast, which I'm sure Hasso is anxiously excited to do.
So Nick, can you lead that discussion?
Sure.
And Grandpa will take a nap on the bench here.
That sounds wonderful. Yes, take a nap, relax, and then 28 minutes from now, we'll start with the next class of this text. So if you guys want to stick around, they'll have to check with your translator whether they're going to be able to stick around. We didn't give any, we gave very little notice. And Word, I apologize for that as well. Because I know you usually
good.
class
Thank you.
right then.
No problem.
So, what do you guys think? Does anybody want to share? I'm happy to chime in with ideas. I share a lot of my ideas here. Sometimes it's nice to just hear from others first.
Nick, I have a question.
Okay.
That's
Come
so
on.
the middleweight
guys' opinions does not conflict with how the normal people say about things.
Like Rimrock people.
Yeah. We say, what if we say, well, I don't have signal here because the signal tower is not good in Rimrock. Like the scientific view. Or we can take it to the extreme to the Big Bangs, how the whole universe started. Then
there was a problem with the Big Bang, and that's why our internet doesn't work here today.
Right. Then in this way, does middleweight opinions conflict with this normal world people talking? Because science is normal. Yeah, that's my question. I don't have an answer. Okay.
That's a great discussion. You know, there's no like, in my opinion, that's a really amazing discussion. That's a big discussion that we can just talk about right now. And I cannot personally answer your question, but I'm happy to discuss it with you. And I think it's
It
really
seems
cool.
to me that the Rimrock people, they do not accept science. There's
what?
We are using satellite. We do accept Wi-Fi wired internet though.
We just pay more and get less.
Right.
I personally like to talk about it in terms of like, we all seem to have similar seeds in some ways. Like for most of us, if you eat a lot of butter, like not the butter that's in the cinnamon rolls at Peachtree Cafe, of course, but if you eat a lot of butter in anything else, it's probably going to be bad for your health if you eat enough.
Right.
You eat enough butter, or if you don't have a cell phone tower, if you don't have Verizon in Sedona, you won't get cell reception. And for whatever reason, the vast majority of us have that experience, if not all of us humans. And there is definitely some things that I would say all humans experience in common, and maybe all animals and all life as I know it experience in common. And scientific explanations hold the same for all of those people. And so it's probably wise as middle way practitioners to not just be stupid and pretend that we don't observe things existing in a certain way, because we might then just wander into traffic or something, like it's important to take into account that we happen to have an experience of reality that is consistent, and science perhaps is a way to explain that consistency, and it's incredible in that way, with the exception maybe of the Big Bang Theory.
Which is everything.
Yeah, everything.
Science is incredible that way. It's really incredible. And we have sent people to space, apparently, and we have cell phones, and I can zoom into this class, and it's amazing. So perhaps one way that I like to reconcile this is to understand that we all, or I have planted in the past, I've created some seeds or some karma that shows me where a world opens for me, which expresses itself as adhering to certain laws, which can be understood through math and physics. And it's not necessarily simple, but it functions. And I believe it was Nagarjuna or Jason Kappa who said dependent origination cannot fail. And maybe that holds true on smaller levels too, like with cause and effect that we can observe. Not that it can't fail, but that it functions. So I don't know.
Asked this question, right?
Well, I would just say, to sum it up, like that it's possible that we could observe this world as adhering to the laws of science for the most part, and it's not in any contradiction to the idea of seeds. It's just that our seeds are expressing themselves through this manner or in this way. And it also could happen where the seeds don't follow those rules. And in some cases, we call that a miracle.
Walking on water.
For example. Yeah. Sorry, Ben.
No, it's wonderful. Juan I thought Juan anticipated this question nicely when he asked Geshe Michael, would it be okay to say that my seeds are causing the pen to be causing the ink on the paper?
Yeah.
Right? And your seeds could do that. I was really obsessed earlier this year when Nick's text was talking about a mirror and the illusion of a mirror. And I was looking, as he was talking about it, I was looking at my face in the computer, which is a little bit like a mirror. And that's not me. That's like, if you can see your face in the computer, that's not you. That's not you in the computer. It's just a picture. It's flat. That's not you. It's wrong. It's an illusion. But it's perfect also. Like if you raise your right hand, maybe it seems like your left hand comes up, but always and every time. And if you stand in the mirror, then you appear in the mirror, even though it's not you. There's something about the illusion that's also like perfect and flawless. The mirror never messes up. The mirror never accidentally shows Geshe Michael when Ben goes to brush his teeth
with hair.
Right. Yeah. But it's not Ben. But it's flawless cause and effect. And science is trying to figure out cause and effect. They all argue about it. There's dumb scientists and there's smart scientists. But if you find smart scientists, they'll tell you, the quantum, the mechanics guys they don't know at a certain point. They don't know what causes stuff, and that's exciting to them at the tiniest little level. They say, well, you can't really pin it down perfectly. We know that things are caused. We see that things are caused, but there's something deep within it all. And yeah, maybe we have some answers here that we can share with them. I want to see us collaborate with the scientists and not fight with them someday.
Yeah.
I was going to say that, in science, there are no laws. There is no proof of anything. In science, it's all theory. And what they're doing is they're looking at hypotheses and seeing, does it look like this is the thing or not? But they never say this is the thing. This is the way things are.
Yeah.
But we forget that. We say, oh, science says there was a Big Bang. No. There was a scientist who said, probably the way things are now is because something blew up. That's all.
Yeah. And perhaps something did blow up, and then perhaps if it did blow up a little to the left, there'd be better internet in Rimrock. It's hard to say.
You fixed it though. You did a good job.
Yeah. Nice work.
So in general, you are saying that it's okay to say that the seeds theory is not a contradiction with what science usually say.
I
bet you that in the next hour he's going to hit this hard. It seems like you're setting up the next moment in the text that you have to be able to speak along with the conventions of the world. I bet you your question is a brilliant setup for what's about to happen.
Or I don't know. Or how do we define convention of the world? Because it changes all the time. Science have new ideas that the ancient farmers don't believe. So I don't know. Yeah, it's a question in my mind. Yeah.
I mean, something that I've always come back to just from a practical standpoint is like, it's important for us to learn this stuff and for us to untangle the webs that are, or the, our minds grasping to things existing in a way in which they don't. It's the most important thing we could do with this human body and mind, and that's why we're so lucky to have encountered, these teachings and this lineage that's so clear and so correct. And at the same time, I think it's really important to interact with what's arising for us in a way that's intelligent and, so that we take care of ourselves and that we can take care of others using our best understanding and the tools available to us. If somebody desperately needs food, I wouldn't at first be like, well, I don't know, just go feed someone, maybe eventually. But at first, we interact with the world the way that we experience it, which is that, they're hungry and you give them something to eat and they'll stay alive longer. Usually it's, I feed myself, but yeah. We only have 2 more minutes. Anybody else want to chime in about this or? Okay. Thanks, Stanley, for
how and why.
There's a great question in the chat. Who created the conventions of the world?
Ooh. Well, aren't we always, Stanley just said they're always changing, which I think is interesting because they are constantly. And I guess that would be, somebody just answered it before we asked it, but the very paradigm of science, for example, or any convention of the world is created by seeds. And if the seeds change, then the paradigms change or the conventions change.
But in a world where you don't believe in seeds, where you don't know about seeds or you don't believe in seeds, how is it that we as a species, for example, adopt something as convention? How can conventional reality explain conventions?
I mean, the anthropology and stuff has long, detailed explanations of such questions, but We're about out of time.
Luckily.
There are long, you could find long theses. Anthropology, I believe, is the study of that, and maybe there's even more specific studies that would
I
cover
think
the.
it's a feature of the middle way, and he just alluded to it in the text that either with we could say conventional or deceptive accurate perception or ultimate accurate perception, you can't demonstrate that things truly work on their own. That that things coming from their own side doesn't exist even conventionally. And so you should be able to explain to a conventional person why things aren't self-existent.
Yeah, right. That's kind of cool about the pen, right? You can prove emptiness logically. You might not be able to prove seeds logically, but you can prove emptiness logically. And that's pretty fun to do for people.
Okay.
Makes you popular at parties. So it's time, Hasso. Have you found your chair? Are you? Yeah.
So,
Nice.
yes,
Okay. All right. See you in 15 minutes for the next recording. Thank you, Geshe Michael. Thank you, everybody.
See you soon.
Yes.
okay. So Geshe escaped very quickly, but no, just joking. Here we are, and thank you very much for having me here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nick, for your class. I really liked it. So today, really, we want to talk about something important happening. It's one of the latest projects that have been happening on Diamond Cutter Classics. And as you may guess, it's connected to the Good Night Reading Club. So in order to talk a little bit more about that, which Geshe has been really excited telling us about lately, we have one of the coordinators of the project with us today, which is Lindsay. Yes, she's gonna come and tell us a little bit more about, well, number one, who she is, how she got here, and what is she doing with the Good Night Reading Club. So, Lindsay, very welcome. Yeah,
That's the mic.
yeah, very welcome. It's glad to have you here. So tell us first a little bit of who are you, how you got here, like what's your story, how you ended up living in Rimrock, and.
Yeah. Thanks, Juan. Yeah, so my name's Lindsay. I'm from Seattle, Washington. And let's see, this summer I did move to Rimrock. Yep. And so my story is I actually started with the mixed nuts program. These are the first classes that I started attending and the first exposure I had to the seed system and everything that we've been studying. And that was a couple years ago. And so 2 years, actually today is the 2-year. Yeah. So a special day. Yeah. But the reason I heard about all this in the first place is because I met, what happened 2 years ago is I met Rob Hegarty, who was also living in Seattle at the time, and he's a longtime student of Geshe Michael, and yeah. So
How did you met Rob Haggerty?
it's a good story. So I met Rob I fell off my bike. I needed a new bike helmet. And I went to the store and he said, "How can I help you?" And at first I just want to talk to him because I didn't normally talk to people in stores. And but then I had the thought of, you don't ever know who you're going to meet. You don't ever know who might be having a really bad day, and it might actually really cheer them up to have a short conversation with them. you don't know.
So you thought you were helping him.
I thought that you never know who might be having a
Okay.
bad day, so it might be nice to just have a short conversation. And yes.
No, keep going.
No. And
What did he say?
he said, "Don't I know you?"
Wow.
We were both wearing masks, and it turned out we had been in the same like bike group, bike club. We knew had similar friends. And yeah, and it was especially beautiful because I had like a month prior had this idea that I really would like for someone to teach me these types of things. But I was like, nah, no one would ever do that. That's ridiculous. Like, no one would ever take the time to devote their life to learning all of this.
Wow.
And teaching. I literally had the thought of like, that's ridiculous. That's way too much to ever ask of anybody. No one would do that. And so when I found out that he did study this, I was like, could you recommend a book? And he said no. He taught me the pen.
You say no?
You know, he would not recommend me a book. He refused to recommend me a book. And instead, he taught me the pen. He taught me how to meditate, taught me a 6-time book, and showed me all these classes, and it went from there.
That's awesome. And now here you are recommending books to people.
I don't know what I did.
Yeah, I don't know. But if we go to that topic, you moved to Rimrock, and then you start getting involved little by little. And recently you were involved in this specific project of the Book Night Reading Club.
Yeah.
How did that happen? And then we can move forward on the actual project so people can sign up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So the Goodnight Book Club is to support DCC. So you all may remember the old format of when it was like a really intense 2 weeks and it was paid. Like people would pay a bit to come to those classes. And now we're moving to, or we've already moved to, where the classes are free, they're completely open, everybody can come, but there's still obviously costs associated with the running Diamond Cutter Classics. And so what the Goodnight Book Club is it's a way to support Diamond Cutter Classics and have you involved in ways both in the classes and then also in reading and thinking about the books, meditating on them yourself, and getting involved in practicing to translate yourself and planting those seeds for, you know, how do we build more translators and get these books translated into languages beyond English more and more. Yeah. Yeah.
So what specifically are you doing in the project?
Yeah. So it's regional. So it's, you know, all over the world, and each region has a regional director who is leading that region. So Latin America has one, Vietnam has one, Europe, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm the person who is like centrally coordinating all of that. So there's certain things that are done centrally, like the website, for example, or just getting everybody's heads together and being like, how are we going to do this, organizing meetings and all that. So I'm the central coordinator, but there is a regional person who would be your point person if you're interested in this program. And I think we have some QR
we have
codes.
pictures.
Yeah.
And Gina Rivera, sending best regards. She's helping us with the pictures today.
Yeah.
And she helps us a lot as well.
Yeah. So I have some more detail. Can I share a little bit about?
Please.
So we have people signed up. Thank you so much for people who have already signed up. We just met yesterday about getting the first books out to people, and there's still time to get in on this first batch. And so again, it's a little bit different by each region. If you scan these QR codes, it'll go to the page that's relevant for your region. There are 3 tiers for signing up. The first tier is getting both of the valise bag that's shown on the screen that we've been talking about, putting electronics away, pulling out a book, reading at night, and then a handful of books throughout the year. And that's at $30 USD. And then there's a middle region that's around 100, 150, and then a higher region, sorry, a higher tier where you're getting that full book set with the box. And I believe that's 500 a month. So there's different, and also we will also send postcards with pictures for people who are more like at the $10. So it's any donation amount is amazing. But we do have specific gifts that are going to come at different tiers of the program, and they're a little bit different by region, but you can look at those QR codes.
And you know what's the first book? Let's say if you live in the US or okay, what will be the first book you get if you live in the US?
So the US, the first book is going to be Door to the Diamond Way. And then after that, we're going to start printing the books that you see on the screen here with the nice gold, the DCC books, special version that are only available to people in this book club. And they are not printed yet. And we're going to print them. They have a nice gold foil. And it's this exclusive, beautiful, beautiful version of these books that you are directly supporting.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And what about if you live in Asia, what's going to be your first book?
Yep, it depends on the country. So, for example, Vietnam just recently finished translating All the Kinds of Karma, so they'll get that one, and then so on and so forth. It depends on where you're at. Some people there will also get the Door to the Diamond Way, but it depends on your region.
All right.
Yep.
Well, we have another picture that shows I think yes. So this is in case people want to contact each one of them, or what?
Yeah. So these QR codes go to the page to sign up for the Goodnight Book Club in each region. But if you have specific questions about signing up, or if you'd like to help or anything along those lines, these are your contact people, and you're welcome to reach out to them directly, and they can help you.
Okay, I'm just gonna click here because I want to see. Okay,
make sure you get the names up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. And you say you can sign up for $30, you can sign up for $100 or for $500.
So it's a little bit different by region, but roughly yes. And you can do any dollar amount. We want to be super clear. You donate $1 a month, you are in this club. We cannot send you a full box set of books at that amount, but we will send you something, and we encourage everybody to participate at whatever level makes sense for them.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So then we want to encourage people to sign up. I myself haven't signed up. I should sign up. So yeah, this is a good, now I know what I'm signing up for.
Yes.
At first you may be a bit like, you don't know what's going on, but now you know, and it may be a very good time to do it. So if we can go to the other QR code so people can look at it one more time, the other picture, and there you go. And you can sign up soon. It's a good start for the 2024. And we hope to keep telling you how's going soon. Thank you very much for coming to the interview, and very congratulations for your 2-year anniversary of having met this amazing content in the books. Thank you. And just lastly, before we move on back to Nick, we want to invite everyone to our upcoming program, which is going to be a special celebration for the new upcoming Dragon's New Year. Yay. And we have we have a picture of the New Year event that's going to happen on February 9th if you are in American continent, 10th if you are in Asia. So I hope, I don't know if people can actually see the dates because of the bar tool, but letting you know it's going to happen at 7 p.m. Arizona time, 10 a.m. Beijing time on Friday, February 9th. If you're here, Saturday, February 10th, if you are there are going to be a lot of surprises. Our friends from mainland China are preparing a lot of surprises, jokes, and fun. Geshe is going to be there, of course, doing amazing content. We have Rob, Daniel, Johnny O, and many more friends around. So hope you sign up and see you then. Before as well, but okay. And then we can go back with Nick to the second part of his class today.
Okay. Thank you, Juan.
Thank you.
And thank you, Lindsay. We